All right. So before we get started, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is Mario. I am from Queens. I'm a program manager. I am a founder of Hair Club, co-founder with my boy Keegan, and as well I'm an aspiring or soon-to-be coffee shop and cocktail lounge owner, and this is the shop as well. It's in progress. Yeah.
All right. And congrats on, starting up a coffee shop.
For sure. Thank you.
All right. So I'm gonna start off with an icebreaker question,
Okay.
and you can flip the cards over when you're ready. So the question is, if you were writing a book about your life, which of these topics would be the story that you want everyone to read? And once you pick the topic, can you come up with a name for your book?
Sure. Let's see. Can it be multiple?
Most you can do is two.
The most I could do. Okay, constraint. So, yes. And okay, I think that's good. All right, my two would be family and failure. Family because I think I'm very close with like all my siblings. And my parents as well. And also, just when I consider all my friends, I consider them like either brothers or sisters, and I'm a very tight-knit circle. I'm very anxious, so I don't like new people around me too much because like I don't know how they act or how they respond to certain things, and they bring their own kind of traumas that I tend to like, I don't know, involve myself with a lot of people's like issues, because I just have like a lot of empathy as well, so that kind of drains me out. So I like to just really focus mostly on my family and my friends. And then also for failure, I just think it's one of the just best lessons in life, specifically for me. I always look to try something that's very difficult because sometimes I think that I don't put myself out there too much and I kind of coast through life. But when I pick up something like Muay Thai, or if I try to like start a business, I think even if I fail, I'm surrendering to the process, and through this surrendering of the process and not really focusing on the outcome, I'm learning a lot. So it's not actually like a failure, like I'm taking that, whatever I learned from it, and I'm improving and moving forward with it as well. I don't know how these would coincide for a book title, but just off the top of my head, I'm thinking about a book title being like Leather Souls. There's a quote that I really love, is from someone called like the Santi Deva, and they say like, how much leather would I need to cover the earth in order for me to be comfortable? But if I have leather soles on my feet, I can go anywhere. So it's more about like fortifying yourself rather than trying to change everything around the world. It's like focusing on yourself. Focus on things that matter to you, your family, right? Your friends. It could be your job, things that are in your control in order for you to be more comfortable as you move around in the world. So yeah, I think those are my two.
Okay. So since you said you are empathetic and you're very close to your family, and you dive into other people's issues a lot, right? What's a memory that you have that you openly talk about with other people?
Oh gosh, memory,
Like a core memory.
core memory. I don't think I really discussed it too much with too many people, but I remember one thing I did struggle with was being very like vulnerable, or like taking on new people's like issues. So when I was going to therapy before, like I was telling my therapist about like this friend that I had, like he'll tell me about like some things that happened to him and his brother, where like his brother passed away, and I really just didn't know how to like, it made me feel awkward because he was kind of a new person to me, but I didn't know how to really communicate with him. And he'll just like say something, and I'll kind of just like freeze up. But just going through therapy, I think like the therapist really walked me into like, this is how you ask questions. This is how you like show a little more openness and a little more love to someone who's like kind of looking for it, so that you're not like this like kind of robot where you're just kind of taking it and it's just brushing off. And I think that also like was some issues that I had in some relationships where I just wasn't as vulnerable as I could be. So like I was kind of cold. I would say that I was like relatively cold because I don't know, it's like those getting into those like mushy details would like really like just like cross my wires, and I just wouldn't really know how to like be open with people. So I think just learning that through therapy is something that I constantly tell people, like that's like an example that I use on how it benefited me and how other people can kind of go forward and use it themselves. So even now, like I ask like way better questions to people when I'm like, I feel like I'm getting into a therapy session with them. Like I'm asking them like, why did you feel that way? Like, where do you think that thing comes from? And what do you think is gonna happen in the future? Like it gives them more comfort, and that also gives me like, I don't know, peace, as well as like a little more, I don't know, I feel good when I'm able to like dissect things from that nature, and because I'm giving someone that kind of like comfort and openness to be open with me. But then going back to the empathy part, that can get a lot because people are gonna look at that as, oh wow, you give me that kind of comfort, I need to come to you again. And then taking on all of that is when it gets really heavy and you kind of get overwhelmed, and then you're not really worried about yourself, but now you're just like drained, right? And like you're burnt out, and now like you're a little rude to those people. Man, I'm giving you a lot right now, but okay.
No,
Anyways.
it's all right. No, yeah, it is true. You become jaded to people's problems.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why I kind of took this approach where I'm like, all right, let me focus on my family and friends, because widespread empathy is not ideal. It's impossible. I don't think human beings are meant to know what's going on 24/7 around the globe with communities that you've never even met. It's too much. And that's why I think so many people are like, the word anxiety is like so heavy and prevalent. And then depression as well. It's like you're exposed to way too much, and your body and your mind is just not, you're not built to do that. We're not evolved enough to even care about those things to that degree.
All right.
Yeah.
So now I'm going to ask you a question from the hidden area.
Yeah.
I was debating on this one, but all right. So I have a good one here. So have you ever felt pressured to hide a part of yourself to fit in or be accepted?
Yes, and I think it's, I wouldn't pinpoint it to like a certain like situation, or like I can't tell you like a story about it, but I would say just working in corporate America, even nowadays, like I work at a relatively large like tech company, and some of the conversations that you hear there, it's like, why the fuck do you think you can just have that conversation with me? Because you have this assumption that I believe in what you believe in, but like that's pretty much what you're supposed to believe in. Anything outside of that is probably deemed incorrect, or you'll be ostracized, or probably an HR complaint. So they can tell you something, but then you kind of have to like sit there and like accept it, right? So like an example, like I'm pro-choice, women can choose and things of that nature, but I've had conversations when someone will come up to me at work and like start saying, oh, can you believe that these laws were passed to ban like abortions and stuff like that? And given, yes, fine, right? I think I agree, those are atrocious laws, but why do you feel so comfortable that you can just come up to me and discuss that, right? I could be Christian, right? I could be Muslim, I could believe in, I could have a whole different thought process around that, but you're already implying that I believe that. So to me, it's like, you have to kind of wear this mask in order for you to maintain like your credibility within the team or the group. You don't want to be ostracized, you want to keep your paycheck as well. So I do think that there's there's this constant mask that I kind of have to wear at work. But then even when I go outside, I'm like, I have my close friends and families that know my heart, so I can say whatever the fuck I want. No one's gonna really think too much about it. Like, Mario, you're terrible. So it's a quote unquote safe space.
Right.
But that's why when I was talking earlier about new people who get around me, like, I don't know anything, like, I don't want to say something, I don't want to feel uncomfortable, I don't want to hold my tongue because I've been doing that for like 33 years. I want to be as free as possible. That's even why, like, I think it's important for entrepreneurs to like branch off and do their own thing, because like, you want to run your own shit. You want to be able to say whatever you want to say and feel how you want to say, feel however you want to feel, and create your own space, right? Where you don't have to feel like you have to wear that mask. Like, I can feel like, even when I'm like, I don't know why, but even after COVID and like also just coming back outside and being around people, like, I have this like heightened sense of anxiety where it's just like, I don't feel like anyone outside of like my group, I don't know what their real true beliefs are. And like, they're not gonna say it, it's just whatever's popular. So then it's like, I just don't want to deal. Like, I really just don't want to deal with anyone. And it's weird because it feels like it's just like, it just happened in the past like 2-3 years, where like, I guess it's probably like the cultural wars that are happening currently in like the country, but I really just don't want to like, I just refuse to wear any more masks. Like, I just want to be as open as possible with the folks that I know. And yeah, that's kind of where I am.
All right. Now, but do you feel like sometimes you still struggle with when to wear the mask, when not to wear the mask? And do you feel like that sort of plays in, that fuels the anxiety a little bit?
Oh yeah. Because I don't want to wear the mask anymore. And like, I want to be able to speak freely. And I don't want you to feel comfortable saying whatever you want around me without thinking that I have like an alternative point of view, right? So for me, like, it's this, oh, I'm going to work. Okay, well, I'll try to avoid this person or these topics because like, I know if we touch on that in any way, shape or form, I know I can't say certain things. So like, I'd rather just like keep to myself. So like, some exchanges are just like, all right, my anxiety's like through the roof. I'd rather just work from home. I'm like, let me just work from home. But like, that's why it's very important to kind of find that like group of people that you can like nurture a relationship with, where you're not scared of being like judged or anything, but you can just be yourself, and it's quite easy. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I say horrible shit all the time, but I don't mean it, right? It's just like, it's a joke, but at the end of the day, it's like, I want to be able to let my personality be free, because like I've been working in corporate America for over 10 years now, and like the mask has slowly been fading away. I remember when I first started, like I was like growing my hair at the time, and I started like growing a beard, and I feel like that was like some level of like rebellion against like, oh, you have to be clean cut, you have to have your hair low, and like you have to be shaved and everything else like that. But in my head, I was like, okay, let me just grow it out, and then if someone says something, I can go to HR. Like, I can just like use it against you. And for me, that was like me still maintaining a piece of myself from like outside of work, where I didn't want my life to just be consumed by work. Like, everything that I do has to track back to work. Me even waking up at 8 a.m. to go to work, I was like, nah, I'm gonna wake up at 7 a.m. and go to the gym, and then also like meditate, because I'm doing that for myself, not for work. Work will come after, and then after I'm done with work, my life starts. So I need a beard after work because women love it. It's not because it's right for work, right? I want to grow my hair because I want braids at the time, because women like it. So I'm doing that, right? That's what I'm like. That's where I'm actually going for. So I don't care if this like 50-year-old white dude is like, hey Mario, your hair is getting long. I'm like, all right, well, your wife's probably not pleased, but but that's how I see things, man. I'm just like, dude, if you're worried about my hair, like, there's other things probably going on in your life that just aren't that well. But
right.
Yeah.